Hey, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Jakejames Lugo. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a brand new episode of JJ's One Man Podcast. This is a rare one, completely unplanned, out of the loop, out of nowhere. I didn't expect to make this episode, but alas, here I am. You guys are going to get a treat of me in rare form talking about stuff. And you already probably seen the title, so you already know what I'm diving into. But for anybody that's not in the loop of stuff, basically, Metroid Dread came out recently. At the time I'm recording this, it came out about 2 days ago. It came out on Friday. I'm recording this on Sunday. And the thing I want to talk about is not necessarily about the game itself, but about Kotaku and their recent article that everybody's really pissed off at them about, justifiably so. And not just me and not just consumers, but a lot of industry people as well. They're pretty pissed off, especially developers. So what am I talking about? I'll probably have links in the description box if you haven't already seen it. Metroid Dread is already running great on Switch emulators. That's an article that's posted up on Kotaku as of today when I saw this by Zach Swayzen. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But Zach wrote this article, and it's basically an article that's not really an article or a news piece about emulation. It's basically an article promoting piracy. And everybody's upset at them for this. Me too as well, because there is such a double standard sometimes in this industry, especially amongst media people, where certain things that we all universally agree is unacceptable and it's not cool, it's in poor taste and ethically questionable. And then you have some people that, because of their, their website and their outlet that they're part of, or the masthead that they're under, they end up doing things like this and expect to get a pass for it. And this is one of those instances that I think is not cool. Now, I read through this article. I read through it a few times, just to be sure I was getting anything that I needed to get out of it. And I was looking at the right thing. So looking at it now as I scroll through it, this is an article that's basically linking to places that teach people how to run Switch emulators on their PC. And basically promoting a game that just came out literally days ago, okay, running on an emulator for Switch games or Switch emulator on a PC. And it sucks because while they're praising the emulator and how it looks and everything else, this is basically a game that just came out not too long ago that people could buy right now, that people literally have been asking for a very long time. And here's Kotaku writing an article that's basically praising the piracy of a brand new game. Let me tell you guys something as a writer that's been in this industry for over 10 years now. I'm going on 12 as of January 2022, being in the industry, and the games industry, being a content creator, a writer, and involved with the criticism and the observation of games in general. This is something I would never write, okay? Because writing about emulation and piracy as news is one thing, but when you start linking to stuff that actively shows how to do it or actively shows the steps on where you need to go in order to do this stuff, that's a totally different issue. That's a totally different scenario. And if anything, it's a very big ethical question and it's a breach of ethics in my personal opinion, because piracy is harmful to the industry. This isn't about preserving older games that have come out in the past that are no longer, purchasable. There's no way that you could purchase certain games. This isn't about that. This is about someone getting praise for basically pirating and cracking a game and then running on their PC, pretty sure that they didn't pay for it, or they probably got some ROM drop or something from somebody else. Again, I didn't get into the specifics of where they're linking to because, again, it's just not something that I support. But that's basically what the piece is saying and how it's being written. Again, they're praising it for its 4K resolution and all this other crazy stuff. That's fine. And that's interesting, okay? But here's the problem, though. This is a brand new game. This is basically saying that it's okay to pirate, and it's giving clout to people that went around and did that didn't purchase the game, that probably aren't encouraging other people to purchase the game. The big issue with piracy and emulation is that there's never an element of where you're going to remove that completely. There's always going to be people that do that type of stuff. But as an individual of the media and as someone who is a writer of games, you don't necessarily need to give that, clout. You don't need to give that some sort of praise. Especially if you're an outlet, or again, writers at that outlet that are always speaking out against doing things that don't support game developers and don't support companies that put out games. Because real talk, developers and companies need money in order to continue making and developing games out there. You need to buy those games because they're products that people have made. So that way those people could get paid and the company could get paid, and the cycle just keeps going on over and over and over again. I mean, here's the problem, and it's a clear thing. You could see it at the end of their article here by Zach. Thank God for pirates, emulators, modders, and hackers. When you go to the end of it, it's like, really? With all this stuff, this imagery of Metroid Dread, and even the video, even embedded on their article, even links to tweets that have talked about stuff with it. It's just like, come on, man. Like, what is that? I'm pretty sure somebody at Nintendo right now is going to start sending out the Nintendo ninjas to go deal with this type of thing. Either they hit them up with a cease and desist or something like that. And I can't begrudge them for doing so because literally the game just came out days ago. It literally just came out on Friday. And this is the type of stuff that Kotaku's writing about. I don't know if they didn't get a copy of the game or like they were denied a review unit or something, but this almost looks kind of vindictive. Like, it's just at a respectable outlet, quote unquote. I know a lot of people don't consider Kotaku to be a respectable outlet in the games industry for one reason or another. I tend to disagree with that because, again, there's been great stuff on Kotaku in years past. But I can't begrudge people for feeling like this seems just very Bush League to do that. Because, again, when you read through the article, I've read through it a couple times, it's not promoting emulation as an archival thing for games. It's literally almost praising a new game just getting pirated by somebody and put out there for other people to mess around with and to use and stuff. That's not cool. Now, I did go online, like I said before, and look at some of the reactions, and the one that stood out the most to me, and this sucks. Like, for lack of a better phrase, this absolutely sucks. The writer, Zach Zayswin, or Zwayson, again, I can't pronounce his name right, is actively antagonizing people that are calling him out on this. This is an issue, okay? I'm going to be real with you guys. Already, this is like the third or fourth instance from Kotaku from doing something that is super questionable. But what makes it all the more worse for people, especially myself, is when you see the writers at the website, especially on the staff, not just the freelancers, but the staff in particular, openly antagonizing everybody else that's speaking out on Twitter. Not everybody is part of that massive group of people trying to get at you or trying to say horrible, racist, misogynist, or terrible things about you on social media. There is an element out there, okay? Let's be honest here. We're being 100% fair and honest here, but not everybody is doing that when they're criticizing you over something, okay? When you're getting called out by people online, especially in massive groups, especially, by the way, by developers, by media people, by PR people, and others of the like, there's obviously a reason for that. It's not just random people on the internet. I'm just saying, maybe Zach might want to take a look at some of the people that are commenting on this, because one of the ones that stood out to me too, if you guys didn't know this, because I didn't know this till I saw it, one of the developers over at that did Among Us actually called out Kotaku when this story went up recently. They quote tweeted them and mentioned how Kotaku wrote an interview or did an interview with a hacker that cracked Among Us, that did some sort of hacking thing for Among Us, and they were basically promoting them on the website. And they had a problem with that, understandably so. If you were the one that developed the game, you're going to be like, yo, what the hell, Kotaku? Like, what's going on with that? And they were saying the same thing about this. Is like, this is not right. This is not cool. This is unethical, straight up. And I agree with that. I think that this is messed up. And I think that, real talk, again, I once again go to Patricia Hernandez, who's the editor-in-chief at Kotaku, who literally just did interviews not too long ago talking about this type of thing, about ethical practices at Kotaku and doing what's right for the greater gaming community. This is not it, girl. Like, straight up, Patricia, this is not it. Like, this is not how you go about doing this. And my big question, and I saw this also from another developer, and I saw this from another person from a different outlet that I won't mention, that's pretty big. Where was the, question about this when this was in the supply chain, when it was actually getting made? Like, why didn't somebody speak up about this and actually ask questions about why are we doing this on our website? Because it feels like somebody over there that was either an editor or maybe Patricia herself or somebody else over there should have questioned this. Because when you look at this, again, with all the links, again, I'm looking at the article right now as I'm talking to you guys, with all the links and the embeds and stuff there, this has to bring up a question to be like, is this like getting too close to the line of like promoting piracy, or actually getting too close to the line of actually promoting the piracy of a new game? Because you can't look at this and not ask yourself that, even if you're not someone that's in the industry. And you're not a writer, and you're not someone that is actively in the development of games. If you're just like a regular consumer that's just like looking at this, like that's the first thing you're going to notice, even after the first few paragraphs. Like, straight up, like, it's pretty weird, and it's one of those things that you have to question, like, what is their goal over there? Okay, because between this and between the attitude that I saw Zach had on social media, literally minutes after all this stuff was going on, because I saw it later than everybody else. The article, I believe, was up for about an hour or so for when it was on Kotaku. But like, you look at his attitude and you look at some of the people defending Kotaku, it's just really, it's shameful, man. Like, I can't help but shake my head at this. And I'm pretty sure when you guys look at this too, or if you go look at all the reactions on Twitter and social media about this thing, you're going to feel the exact same thing too. So, final thoughts on this? Shame on Kotaku. shame on everybody over there. Shame on Zach for not only writing the article, but also shame for his attitude towards people that were criticizing him and criticizing Kotaku, rightfully so, for this. Because as someone that's a writer, I would never write something like this. You could write about piracy as news, you could write about emulation as news or part of an op-ed and stuff, but you don't have to actively promote it or feel like you're coming off to actively promote it, because this is what this is doing, in my opinion. Again, as someone that's been in here for a while, that's at least what I got from it. Anyway, those are just my thoughts about this stuff. Again, totally unplanned episode of the podcast. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are about this in the comment section down below. Of course, don't forget to leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Check out all the other episodes of JJ's One Man Podcast in the playlist that I'll provide at the end of the video here, as well as also check out some of my reviews. Check out some of my other stuff that I've talked about games here on the channel. New videos are going up every single week. Be on the lookout for my Metroid Dread review very, very soon. I'm just about done with it. I just want to finish through the final boss and the last minute, endgame content stuff before I finalize my review. I will talk to all of you again very soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.